Split the defense.
Welcome to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game, presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. Proud member of the Hockey Podcast Network, I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth, here to give you our thoughts on the Leafs versus the Blues. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, and catch us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. So this is the second game against the Blues in 9 days. Redemption game for Brew Base supposed to be. They did play better. They didn't get their absolute asses handed to them. They did lose, though, 4-2. Leafs did outshoot the Blues. There's definitely some score effects there. But tell me, CP, where did it all go wrong?
It all went wrong in the second period. Goalie ended up giving some in. One off her own player. Not great. One totally screened in front, which I think, also could have been prevented. So, yeah, just a crapshoot of a second. I felt, like you said, the Leafs played way better than they did last time they played the Blues. But, yeah, I mean, the one positive is whenever we play a goalie that's a contender to be Team Canada's goalie in this Frozen Four or whatever we're going to call it, I mean, they always seem to play really well. So, I mean, we got that going for us.
Yeah, is that the positive you're taking out of this?
Yeah, I got to take one, so yeah.
I'll take it. All right. Yeah, so the first period was good. It looked really good. We scored first. Marner, he get to the net. I mean, you're seeing a trend there. You're starting to see some success. They're getting to the net. They're scoring goals there. It started to feel a bit like a track meet, though, and they started trading chances about, 7 minutes left in the game till the end of the period. Some of that was 4-on-4. A lot of that was penalty and special teams, but there was a lot of back and forth. In the first period, Nyes, Matthews, Marner line, they outshot the Blues 8-1 at 5-on-5 anyways.
Yeah.
Then Broberg leaves with an injury, and he is able to skate off on his own. He limped down the tunnel. It's not good. You never want to see a player get hurt, especially we don't really care.
For sure.
But the Blues are down to 5 D-men, okay? They turn it on. 3 consecutive goals in the second period. Parayko scores the pair from the distance. Now, what do you think about how they defended those situations? Or do we just give credit to the shooter? Those 2 big blasts from Parayko.
I mean, you definitely want to see your net being cleared a bit better, both screened in front. I'm not sure, was one deflected or did Parayko get both of them clean? But
both of them clean.
Both clean, yeah. See, I mean, yeah, you need to do better for your goalie there a little bit. Also, Joseph Woll might have to fight a little bit to see a puck coming in. It's never going to be absolutely perfect. So, I mean, I always whenever you get 3 really kind of quick like that, I always feel geez, I just kind of want one of them back. And I mean, the one I think that hurts the most is the one that goes off Jake McCabe's foot. So, yeah, just kind of you definitely want more from your D there, but a little more from your goalie as well, kind of.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask that. So do you blame more Joseph Woll on those long screenshots? Now that's given me those couple of long bombs going in. I'll say I'd take a Colton Parayko. I loved that shot. He's a big guy. You're right. He played defense. Yeah. He's got that bomb of a shot on him. I'm not going to discredit what he does. So those were great shots. But do you put blame on Wolf for that? The kind of give me Ilya Samsonov flashbacks. Now, it's obviously not that bad. I'm not calling him a bad goalie. It's just seeing them 2 go in from way far back like that. It's not something I've been used to thus far with Stolarz.
Yeah, it definitely, I think Stolarz, he fights through traffic a little bit better, I think, than Woll does. Or at least Woll did tonight. So, yeah, it is, but it's a 50-50 thing. I think I just want a little bit more from everybody there, so it's not directly putting it on Woll. But I will say that, we haven't seen, top of the best games we've seen from Stolarz have been better than the best games from Woll. And you kind of do want to see him, a little bit of competition to steal the net more. And, a game in his hometown, yeah, it was kind of a little bit tough.
Yeah. I didn't think he would get the game, but I mean, you do have to use both goalies this weekend, so I guess it does make sense to give him the one in his hometown. But I didn't think he would get the game because he got lit up the first time he saw St. Louis. So, like, I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know, just because it is his hometown. It kind of seems sentimental to me. Like, fucking play him tomorrow. What? Like, he's going to play, right? It's not like you were, like, leaving him out now. Like, just I don't know. I guess I'm not all about the sentimental on this. I think Stolarz probably should have got a shot, not just because he's a better goalie, but because he didn't get lit up 9 days ago by this exact team. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you were expecting putting Joe Wool back in when they already had, like, the Wolves have already fed off this guy last week. Now, the team did play better in front of him. It was definitely a better performance. It wasn't as sloppy. Now, I was away for that game, so I only caught a bunch of highlights, but it obviously the score looked a lot better, right? And they didn't get completely owned. But still, I don't know why you would play Joseph Woll in that spot just to get beat up on again after he clearly showed last week that this team had his number.
Yeah, who do we play tomorrow? Maybe you can look that up.
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay. Well, yeah, I think it is a little bit like it is questionable because if Berube wanted to like get his best out of his team tonight, then you would have gone with Stolarz. I just think like from what you've seen so far, like that kind of has to be the decision. So I don't know. It is one of like my when in last show you asked me what I thought about like the who was going to be the goalie and if I thought that we were still doing the sentimental thing, and I guess that just kind of shows you that we still do. It's hockey players are kind of like they're more superstitious, I think, and they're a little bit more sentimental about things like that. So like I don't know if it's like a league wide thing because it doesn't seem to be just a Sheldon Keefe thing. Berube's doing it too, but like you said, they both had to go this weekend, so it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It is what it is. It's over now. Pacioretty, Tavares, Nylander line played together tonight. What did you think? It wasn't their success didn't come tonight. It didn't pay off, but they didn't get the results. That's what I'm looking for. But what did you think of the way they looked and how they played?
Yeah, like they did get one, right? Or is it would Willie get one? Either way, they did play, I think, pretty well. I do like that line. Like the top six in the first period, I thought was really going. In the second period, both teams I think were just getting opportunities and they just were going in the net for us, or for them, I should say, on us. So yeah, I do like that line though. I think they have found something like a couple times where they just miss clicking Pacioretty and Tavares. Like those two, I think, are still kind of reading each other's minds. And Willie is a little bit of a freelancer on the line, but yeah, I do think it works.
A freelancer, yeah, just getting paid by cookies. He just goes out there, hangs out, and they just give him cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I did still like the line tonight. I thought it looked good. I thought in the first period, obviously, that Matthews line looked dominant. Throughout the rest of the game, they had their moments. They loaded up on the top power play again at the end of the game. They had all the big boys together, core four plus Riley.
Yeah.
So, like they had their moments, and then they're just trying to get one, mixing it up, doing whatever they can.
Yeah.
But the power play now, so going into the game, CP, they were the worst power play in the league, 32nd in the league at 8.8% this season. And after this game, they're still the worst, but they're actually even worse now. They went 0 for 4 in the power play, so now they're 7.9% on the season. Incredible.
Brutal.
Honestly, incredible considering the amount of talent and the investment into the power play that they've put this offseason and the emphasis that they have had on improving the power play this offseason. It's purely incredible that it's this bad. Something's got to turn, right?
I honestly think if you just threw the puck at the net, any opportunity you had, you would have better than 7% power play. Like I think that's the rough part is because even just the most average players I think would do better. So it's like obviously they're just overthinking it, they're over designing it. Like I really don't like this perimeter style that they go with every once in a while where it's just like 4 guys basically on the perimeter and 1 in the middle, and they're just throwing it around. No one's doing anything. Like, at least like switch and skate at each other, do something. Like, yeah, right, or
You know
like
what?
when
It looks better. It does look better. Like they're moving around. Like before they were really still. They were stale. They weren't
yeah,
moving enough. Now they're moving their feet, but they're still not getting it on net enough or winning
yeah, like
enough battles for those second opportunities. There's way too many one and dones with this team. There's not enough keep it in and battle around. And I think that's the biggest issue with this power play. Like I wrote here, not enough intention. Now that was on the 6-on-5, but like shoot the damn puck. You're
yeah,
right. Throw it at the net.
yeah. I think like the best power plays have a really good defenseman running them, and and like Diz says, the not gonna really go say verbatim what he said, but yeah, like it is a missing piece where like there's no hard shot like Pareko where he just launches one at the net. Like there is nothing dangerous like that. So I don't know, but you need to find different ways to do that. Like if that's like the case, then put Matthews up top to just throw some bombs, like I just think that there needs to be way more rotation. You just can't be more guys in the exact same spot, just standing and watching and waiting for something. Skate at a defender, like make something happen. And the problem is when they do that, they just seem to bobble the puck and it's just a clear. So yeah, it's really just not going, and rough times for the power play. And honestly, it's a bad times when you get a power play and it's kind of like ugh. Like I'd rather them just play 5-on-5. It's pretty rough that way.
And can I ask, like, on the power play specifically, is it all does it always have to be, and is it going to be all the time a Matthews one-time clapper? Does he have to slap shot the puck every single time? What happened to the Matthews walking in with a slick wrister and sniping it? We're not seeing that anymore, where he's getting the open wrist shot. It's got to be to him and off his stick. Now, is that because it's too tight coverage, or what do you think of that?
Honestly, like it is a little bit of lack of creativity. Like how often you see Matthews cutting to the slot to try and get a one-timer, just a quick clapper from, a couple meters out. Like it just doesn't happen. He just wants to be on his side, or he tries to turn into Marner when he's on his offside and starts being the creator. Like there is a little bit of criticism that has to go his way, because you see a lot of Nylander and Marner skating around trying to make something happen, and he's over there asking for it, but it's like, I don't know. He's never been Ovechkin in his career. He's never been a guy who just stands in one spot and hits the same shot over and over and over again. He's creative 5-on-5, and that's what makes him the best scorer, is how many different ways he scores.
Yeah.
So you really don't see that on the power play, and yeah, I think some criticism has to go to him. And he's now the leader, so like he has to be the guy that kind of brings the guys together and been like, this is what we're doing. Like when he
So
did
how
that,
much do you think him being the leader has to do with all of this? Do you think there's some pressure on him now, and that's what's weighing him down a little bit here?
well, like I don't know, because it seems specific to the other night on the face-off play, like he's the one that kind of calls it and designs that play to get it was a really slick goal. And so like it's not like this is something that is inherent through his whole game. It just seems to be on the power play, like no one's really taking control. And that, like when they split them up, you saw a little bit of it where Nylander was taking a bit more control and Marner's taking a bit more control, but there still lacks all of the other things to create a good power play.
Yeah. So we had a couple of fights tonight, a couple of scrums.
Yeah. McCabe
The
got
wheels
beat up.
kind of came off there for a little bit. Yeah, McCabe got beat up. Holmberg got beat up.
Holmberg
We had
got beat
McCabe
up.
versus Shen. That was a terrible fight.
Brutal.
I haven't seen a fight off the face-off from the Leafs in a while. Am I wrong there? Is it like that felt like, oh wow, this is not us. I see it on highlights all the time. They just drop, but not us, not our team. They don't like they do it after scrums or after. But this was interesting. Yeah, McCabe didn't want to take shit from Shen anymore, and he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
JD Bunkus, Sportsnet's JD Bunkus says maybe we could get our first Reeves fight instead of the newly paid defenseman. What do you think of that?
That was actually my exact thought. You see Reeves on the bench standing up, and it's like, I don't know, like McCabe just got his friggin' ass handed to him. And you would think that Reeves would go over there and at least try and get a fight at some point throughout the game. Like, if you like, that's his job, is to, if another guy tries to pick on one of our guys, go over and be like, at least be like, I'm the guy you're supposed to talk to, leave my guys alone. And you don't even see much of that. And like Justin said it in our chat about like what's even useful for. And he's not, he's like, he does create energy like once or twice a game on one of his shifts. But other than that, like, it's not the Ryan Reeves we signed up for. It's just like a fourth line regular dude that really doesn't do much and it's kind of slow most of the time. You're muted.
Yeah, it was like, what exactly do you do here? Like, because
Yeah.
his job was supposed to come in and be rough and throw big hits and cause shit and instigate these fights and like bring life back into the team, and not guys like Pontus Holmberg and Max Domi at times. Like that, I just, I don't really see what the point of Ryan Reeves here is anymore. I've been saying that for a little while here now, though. I don't really know.
I like kind of assumed when we signed him, it was more of a 1 year thing, and like 2 years, like 3 year contract of him.
Isn't it 3?
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 years that aren't really useful is what I
Oy
kind of
vey.
expected. And so like, I don't know, like they really had to give him those years because other teams wanted him. But at this point, I'm not exactly sure why. Especially I think we're in a different position
You
now.
want
where
him, you can have
the
him.
team. Yeah, I think it's changed. Things have changed now. I'm not sure how many people want him, but I think the team is also in a different place where they're tougher now. Like even like McCabe is the guy that's, even though he's not great at fighting, like he is willing to do it. And I think it's getting less and less of that's in the game. It's more about like toughness in scrums and things like that you need to have throughout the team. And Reeves is just on the bench who he plays 8 minutes a game and he's not doing what we want him to. So yeah, I would rather him get scratched. At least Nick Robertson runs around a little bit and potentially could score a goal.
Potentially could score a goal. Now, Ryan Reeves won a foot race tonight. I will say that. That
He
surprised
did,
the hell
actually,
out of
yes.
me.
Yeah.
He did win a foot race. He's got it
Cut a
in him.
guy off.
Cut a guy off, yeah. But, it's just not doing it for me. Steven Lorentz scored a goal tonight. It's his second of the season. He's definitely punching above his weight, is he not?
Yeah, I think it might actually be his third, isn't it? I think he's been punching above his weight since he got here. Part of what he does is just bring energy, and he's the guy, not Ryan Reeves, that does that. Steven Lorentz is the one that you notice more often and is in there more. And I think that just getting goals is extra for him. So really good to see. He's just such a good guy too. Whenever you see the interviews with him, he's just always has a smile on his face. He's living his best life right now. So yeah, I really like him.
Well, we predicted 5 goals would be good from Steven Lorentz, and that's his second goal of the season. He's got 1 assist. He went into the game a -3, but
on track
the
for
fourth line's
8
been
or... yeah.
The fourth line's been like a rotating traveling circus, so you can't really complain. Once that solidifies, I'm sure it won't be a minus line. I can almost guarantee that'll be a positive line. Now, there's a couple other lines on this team that I could predict to provide offense, but still be potentially negative lines. Our fourth line, like a Camp Lorentz and somebody that's not Ryan Reeves, I think that that could be a good fourth line. Mm-hmm. So, what else do we got here? The D pairing stayed the same. Benoit Timmins tonight. Still not seeing enough of your boy Philip Myers. What do you think of Timmins?
Timmins
keeping that spot there. Like, well, should Myers be back? I mean, like, there's options now, and now it looks like we're gonna have guys coming back off LTIR too here soon.
Yeah, it looks like Hakanpää is probably going to be taking up that spot pretty shortly, and I think the best play from Hakanpää, like, neither Timmins or Myers can kind of hold a light to that. So I think he will be the guy as long as he can stay healthy. And as like once he gets kind of into game form. So I'm excited to see him actually. Like he's such a massive body. And that's just good to have as your third pair defenseman. Hopefully he can move a puck decently because I think he might like. It's funny because a lot of the Benoit, not like tonight was specifically, but just in general, I've been more concerned with Benoit's play. And so Hakanpää and Benoit, like they might have trouble moving the puck out, but I guess we're just going to have to see it. We'll go from there.
Yeah. Now, something that was brought up to me, Benoit played 13 minutes and 42 seconds tonight. And I did notice tonight that there was a Benoit McCabe pairing going again for a bit there. Did you see that? A couple times they threw those guys out together. Now it worked last year. That was where he was most comfortable. But Benoit has definitely taken a step back. Now, I've heard he had a kid.
He
That'll
did.
do things to you, right?
Yeah.
That'll do things to you. Now, can you not expect that probably in 6 months here, when playoffs come and the child's probably sleeping through the night better, that Simon Benoit may find his step again?
Yeah, maybe like guys talk about the the dad bump, but it's when you're going from getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep to 4 to 6, it's definitely gonna take a toll on you. But yeah, you just see way less of just the fight that you would got from Benoit last year, and that could be the reason. But he's kind of has to be careful here, because I think if there was another left shot defenseman, that he would be kind of being rotated out. So hopefully he can kind of play a little bit better. But I don't know. It's not that he's been bad enough to be taken out. It's just he used to bring a little bit more energy and clear out the net a little bit better. Potentially just like fed off of McCabe a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. So, what else do we got here, CP?
We got
Anything else you
comments
wanna mention
here
about
in
this
the
game?
chat. Let's hit up some of these comments
Totally.
in the chat here. We got a bunch, big old chat going on. Let's hit them up.
All right, producer Ted.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? The overrated, overpaid top end players that we talked about at the beginning of the show. They're being paid to produce, but guys keep talking about third and fourth liners. We do. We went through those guys at the beginning of the show. Austin Matthews isn't producing at his regular pace. I do expect that to come back. Are you concerned about Matthews not getting it going so far?
I mean, I think in general he's seemed a little bit less dangerous, but I think that's just because pucks haven't been going in. Like, he just seems to, like, last year, the ones that come to mind are, just like sneaking them in from down below the goal line, tips in front, and, he's not getting those. So I don't know if it's part of, he used to just throw them on net a little bit more, but that's part of the design of this new coach and what he's supposed to be doing. So I don't know. If you look at all the fancy stats, it all says that he's just unlucky, and his shooting percentage is lower than it's ever been, and I guess you gotta give him a little bit of time, but I do like how their line has been looking. It looks dangerous. It feels more like when Matthew Nyes gets a shooting opportunity, it feels a little bit more dangerous than when Matthews does, which, yeah, that just is not the norm. That's for sure.
I wonder if I don't know if this is anything, maybe it's confirmation bias as I always see but it doesn't seem like he's trying to take the game himself as much anymore. Trying to be the captain, the team player, whatever. I don't know how that role is changing him, and I don't know whether he's adapting or not. I don't know how he's adapting, if he's struggling with that, or if that's just something I'm seeing. But it's definitely like you're not seeing those moments where he's just like, okay, I'm taking the game now.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, he could be playing like more like a team guy, but like Ryan O'Reilly gets paid like $6 million, and that's not who we want him to be. You want him to be able to do that, but also get somewhere between 50 and 65 goals is just seems to be what you want from this guy, and that's what he's paid for. So, yeah, you do want him to take on the team role as the captain, but not sacrificing goal scoring. And you're not seeing a whole lot of like 6 goals from this team, and especially like a hat trick from Matthews would be good anytime for sure.
Yeah, Paul suggests putting Domi with Matthews. Now, that worked last year. I think you said that was your favorite stretch of hockey, was Domi and Matthews last year. And I do agree. I would like to see that. I would have liked to see Marner with JT again, except for then JT, Pacioretty, and Nylander were a thing. So I don't know. What if we got JT, Pacioretty, Marner line now? Like, I don't know. Is that, where do you play them though? Is that like, what are you looking at? There'd have to be an major offensive spark there, because it's kind of like what are you line? Like, Marner he's not a game breaker like Nylander.
Yeah, I think that like we've said though, Willie's kind of been a freelancer on that line. So I don't think that I think we found kind of a connection between Pacioretty and JT. And like it isn't it's more playing like a third line. It's not like this team is kind of missing a little bit of impact, and things have been kind of better in the top six, but I'm not saying it should be like it's perfect. So I think Domi, like we said last podcast, just seems a little bit lost on this team. Still does. And like the third line of Holmberg, McMahon, and Domi, just it's not doing it for me. They had one good opportunity tonight. But it's since they've been going to it, it's been underwhelming for sure. So
And I certainly have doubts that Calle Yarncroke coming back is going to fix all of our problems.
no, like I don't know. Calle Yarncroke is kind of he as a player is kind of underwhelming, and he does all of the things like perfectly on defense, but yeah, he's not like huge explosive player if he's not on a line with some really creative players. I think he can play on any line, but he's not necessarily going to change any line.
Although, have you not seen him take over at certain times when he was given the opportunity?
I think he like takes advantage of opportunity. I think when he's been pushed up the lineup, he goes on some good stretches.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's like he can be a third line player that just is creating offense all the time. Like,
No, and that's just not who he's been.
Mhm.
And in the playoffs, he's been non-existent. So, like, do
Yeah,
you really
disappears,
trust all
yeah.
of that? I don't see it happening. Don't see it happening. Not too thrilled about that. There's got to be a move coming. Now, do you think there's going to be a move before the trade deadline?
I don't know. Yeah, like there better be like, before the trade deadline.
Like before deadline time. You think we're going to see one by Christmas?
Yeah, like I don't know. Hockey's kind of boring, and like
I know. I think we're just going to see Nick Robertson ride it out, and like he
that
might not even get traded at the end. Like, who knows? I don't see them trying to upgrade this. Somebody from within has to step up. Now, who's that going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was just saying hockey's boring, and I'm just gonna pray for a trade. I hope something exciting is gonna happen for this team, and that's just the fan in me coming out. But yeah, it's just they tend to like just be a little too stagnant about it. So hopefully, because there's nothing electric coming up from the Marlies. I don't think if Fraser Mitten makes his way up. Yeah,
I don't even see Fraser Mitten playing games for this team this year. We've talked about this guy a few times. It feels so off topic to even bring the guy up.
Exactly. It's like none of these guys are going to come up and do anything. So I think that's where you have to, cash in on someone and bring something in. I think a third line center I think would change this team in a big way.
It is promising seeing a guy like Holmberg getting into the mess. Right? Like I do like he's evolving. He is getting better. Like he was a 6th round pick or something. He's not ever been a top talent, but like if he could just be on all the time, I think it's like Berube isn't giving him enough of a hard time the way he's been giving McMahon or Nylander or whoever else we've been talking about. Like Holmberg does, I think, have something in there, and I don't know, maybe Berube disagrees and that's why he's not pushing him, but like I see it. Like he's a bit of a rat. He's got it in him and he can play the game. He doesn't do it all the time. It's just not all the time. And maybe he could be a guy that comes up and is that extra contributor. Like he was tonight, getting in the shit, getting into a fight, getting his ass kicked, but getting into a fight, just an extra guy.
In camp, he did say that he worked really hard to put on weight this summer. He felt like that was a piece of his game he could add. So like it's not by mistake. Like that is like he is presently trying to be a tougher player and scrappier. You want to maybe be a better fighter, maybe, or hold your own a little bit better. But you
not
do
even
like
fighting so much, just being able to go into those scrums and hold your own. Right?
Yeah,
not get roughed around.
Yeah, he got roughed around a little bit.
He got roughed around.
Yeah, but
anyway,
he could be the Reeves replacement, though. I think that he could be a 4th line player, but again, like this is just guys around the edges. Not like they're not impact players. I don't think they're good. They can play on the wings of someone that we hopefully bring in. But yeah, I'm just a little bit. Even just watching the game tonight, I was a little bit bored for a while. I was just like, someone do something. Like I'm just sick of kind of just this team gets into these lulls of doing nothing exciting, and so like I just bring it a little bit more.
Just not enough to the net. I think there was maybe they were in their heads a little bit from getting their asses kicked last week. They probably wanted to play a better defensive game for Chief. There wasn't a whole lot of creativity like we seen the other night. And, like they're putting they're dumping the puck on the other end, but when they win the battles and they can get the puck on net, it's awesome. But when they are barely winning battles and the pucks are all going into shin pads, then you have a game that looks like tonight. They weren't getting, like, they had 38 shots on net, and still, like, did it seem super dangerous? Was it a dangerous 38 shots on net? I'd like to see high danger chances. Were there like 10 of them were high danger chances? Another 28 muffins?
I mean, like, there was kind of, a little bit of an easier night. There's no question. Like, probably, I don't know, I'm going to say 5 to 10 high danger chances and a whole lot of just pucks to the net. So, yeah.
But, they're trying anything. They're trying everything.
We'll
be
like
back tomorrow
Matthews
against Minnesota anyways, and they got another shot to redeem themselves. So do you think they're going to be a different team tomorrow night because, like, they got their asses kicked tonight, or, like, the whole back-to-back? They're going to be tired.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to expect from this team at the moment because, on their one back-to-back, they played pretty well, and, but they just played, like, dog crap for an entire week. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm unimpressed with this team, like, so far this season. But we seem to always be unimpressed with this team, every season at the beginning. So,
November usually gets better, doesn't it?
Yeah. So they need to get on a heater. I need Matthews to go, on a 5-game scoring streak, and Marner to get 10 points in 6 games or something, and just go on a heater.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, I think we can wrap it up here. We're going to come back tomorrow night, talk about the game then. We'll get into all this and more tomorrow night after the game against the Minnesota Wild. 6 p.m. start for the game. Don't forget, tonight is daylight savings. Turn your clocks back. That's a wrap for now. Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense. Leafs postgame presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors, serving the Kingston and surrounding area since 2004. We appreciate your comments. Hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, tell your friends, and go ahead and listen to us in podcast form. Until next time, peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_show.